People do not realize that if they want to understand the universe, since the below comprises of the same law as above, except it is manifested in greater complexity, you just simply have to study nature and the things of earth to learn of what's above and beyond. Given the universe is mental, then life is its body. Life is the body of mind, meaning that when you look at life, you are looking at the image of mind in its totality. You are also looking at a reflection of your own mind, except the universal mind is your parent, and if you listen to it, meaning pay attention to it, the little mind becomes in likeness to the universal mind, and this is why man is called the Son of God, at least in potential. So in this case, if you want to learn of creation, and by what process the universe was created, simply look into the most complex demonstration of creation in our world and apply it to above. Look to the human process of sex to understand the cosmic process of creation. Creation in the human condition is no different than the cosmic one. The creation of the universe and the secret of creation is revealed in the act of sex. So let's study it, so we may understand how creation happens, and at what cost. Firstly, concerning matter, to create, you need potential or material to create with. Much like a plant cannot be created if it does not have soil, potential. But this potential that the plant rises from is death, is it not? Soil is a soup of death. And so, life needs death in order to have potential to rise from. So at some point in the saga of the universe, there was death. To provide life, there must first be death, and this ties into the process of sex. Let's follow through the process of sex to understand creation. First, the woman is moistened by anticipation, as if to prepare water for a seed. The man inserts a shaft into the woman in a hole that is known to bleed, seeming very much like a wound. And so the man thrusts, as if he is repeatedly stabbing her. Over time, the woman begins to produce a sound that sounds very familiar to pain. Then the man plants the seed inside the bleeding wound, and the duty is done. So what has happened? It's all symbolical. There was a murder. The man has murdered the female and laid the seed in her corpse, so that a new life may arise out of its potential or nutrients. This is creation. Sex is sacrifice, and sacrifice comes before all creation. Why do you think women like to be dominated, and in their hypnotic state, make demands of the male with such words like destroy, obliterate, and commonly use vulgar slang? The essence of sexuality is doing what is forbidden. This is why sex has a deep rabbit hole of fantasies and kinks. Sex possesses the mind like hunger, and will make you do things you otherwise rationally wouldn't, like murder, which takes place symbolically in every act of sex. Perhaps this is why guilt is such a common emotion after sexual release for men, especially when lust, not love, is the motive behind the act, because you symbolically killed someone and it was not treated as a sacrament. So the secret of creation is that of sacrifice. And notice also that besides creating life, it's no different for sustaining life. We must also sacrifice other life in order to feed ourselves and preserve our own life. Sacrifice is a fundamental part of life, and without it, nothing could exist. So we could say that before the creation of the universe, there was a sacrifice, a murder, or death, so that creation could happen. But this is the conundrum. To have life, you need death. But to have death, you need life. So it's not what came first, the chicken or the egg. The more imperative question is what came first, life or death. So according to reasoning, unless reasoning is woefully incapable of understanding this, the universe always was and always will be. But regardless of the truth, sex, meaning sacrifice, is what keeps life in a circle and eternal.